Welcome back to another video, and today this is part one of two parts of predicting the upcoming NBA season, the over-under for every single NBA team. I've just got this off the local sportsbook Sportsbet out here in Australia, and today we're going to start with the Eastern Conference. The way we're going to do this is we're going to go through the standings from last season. We're going to go, so obviously Cavs at the top, Wizards at the bottom. We're going to work our way from the top to the bottom, predict over-unders, give some reasoning to why, and I'm going to come out with three locks to for three teams who I think are going to be a guaranteed over or a guaranteed under. So to start off, last season Cavs 63 wins, I believe. Predicted over-under at 56.5. It's a little lower, obviously, first season with the coach, people are learning how to play him, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be without Darius Garland for a few months this season. But I believe with what the Cavaliers have brought in, they'll still be a really good regular season team. Mobley, you predict to have a jump. Donovan Mitchell, Lonzo Ball. You predict everyone to be getting better. They've picked up some good players. Their bench will be deeper in the big man rotation with Larry Nance Jr. I know this is biased, but I'm locking my Cleveland Cavaliers to go over 56.5 wins this season. I just can't see any reasons apart from, Garland being out to why the Cavs could fall faulty to going below that. But I just believe that the depth that they have, they've got depth at every position now. The players they have, the star-studded roster, because Garland will still come back and play at least half the year. But you've got Evan Mobley, you've got Donovan Mitchell, Jarrett Allen, DeAndre Hunter, Lonzo Ball. It's just, there's a lot of really good basketball players on this team, and I predict them to be a lock over 56.5 wins this season. Moving on to Boston. This is a really tricky one. Last season winning 61 games, this season 43.5 games. Well, obviously, without Jason Tatum for this whole season, there's no Drew Holiday and there's no Kristaps Porzingis. There's a lot of new players who they've brought in, but they still do have some great players in Derek White and Jaylen Brown. And Peyton Pritchard as well, actually, who I hadn't thought about. I had wrote over, but just thinking about their roster and just the construction and their big man rotation, I'm going to take the Boston Celtics under. I won't be surprised if towards the end of the year, unless it really is going to depend on Tatum's health. If he looks healthy and to be coming back, they're going to make a charge for the playoffs. If he doesn't, I won't be surprised for them to do what Philadelphia did this year and rest their key players and just lose some games to try to get a better draft pick, which you'd assume they'd trade. But yeah, it's a tricky one. This is one where I wouldn't be surprised if they went 5 games over or if they went 5 games under. I'm going to go the under in the end, actually. The New York Knicks predicted at 52.5. Last season, 51 wins. I think the Knicks clear. I think they go over. I think they'll go over by 1 or 2 games, but I think they will go over. Obviously, last year, Jalen Brunson was out for a little while, and they had to take their time to get used to each other. Bringing OG Anunoby, who played a little bit the season before, I believe, but not very much. Bringing in Miles Bridges, and just everyone else all these changes that they made. They got a new coach this year in Mike Brown. They got a deeper bench unit with Gershon Yabusele and Jordan Clarkson. I just think New York just have a better team this year than they did last year. They haven't lost anything big. They've just made some good changes, and I think it'll be a good new year for New York. If they're not the second seed behind the Cavaliers, I think I might be a little disappointed in them. Moving on, Indiana Pacers, 38.5 games. They've won 50 games last year. Obviously, they are a competent team without Tyrese Halliburton. But I just can't see them winning too many big games without their star point guard there. There's just a lot of minutes and a lot of roles, just a lot. He doesn't score a lot, but it's what he does. It's not the assists, it's the hockey assists, it's everything. And you can't expect Andrew Nembhard's a great player. You can't expect him to fill that. They've got a great bench unit. 38.5 does. Oh, it's tricky, isn't it? It does seem a bit too low. I think I'm going to change. This is another one I'm changing. I think I'm going to go just over the over. I think I've convinced myself. Benedict Mathurin. I do like Nembhard. Naismith's a good, off the ball player. They're losing some strength there with Miles Turner, but he's not that huge. Yeah, we're going to go the over there for the Pacers. Over 38.5. Moving on. Bucks predicted 43.5. Last season, 48. Under every day of the week. The Milwaukee Bucks are a disappointment of a team. No Damian Lillard. As I've just touched on, Miles Turner isn't that big of an impact. He's not going to be an all-star player, and he's not going to have a huge impact to where you're going, wow, the Bucks are a real contender in the East. They're not. They're not going to be unless Giannis has a historic season, which I just can't see happening. He's a bit disgruntled. He might ask out halfway through the year. Could be a Jimmy Butler situation. I'm not going to lock it, but I'm pretty confident that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to go under. Detroit Pistons predicted at 44 last season, 44.5, sorry. Last season, 44 wins. I'm locking the over for the Detroit Pistons. I'm expecting them to have a bigger year. Jaden Ivey comes back. Cade Cunningham. I'm expecting him to have a jump. I'm expecting Jalen Duren to have a jump. Obviously, they've lost Dennis Schroeder, who they only had for like half the year, if that. And they lost Malik Beasley, but they've brought in Karis LeVert. They've brought in some other good pieces. I'm happy with their offseason. I'm expecting Cade Cunningham to become a next level player. I'm expecting him to be an All-NBA player this year. I think he has that talent, and I think the Detroit Pistons will sail over this. If they are a 50-win team, I will not be surprised. I will be pleasantly surprised, but I won't go, wow, how the Detroit Pistons done that. Anyways, moving on. Orlando Magic, 50.5. Last season, 41. It's a bit steep. I like the Orlando Magic. It really depends. How much does Desmond Bane change their offense? Will it be more spaced out? We thought it would be with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, obviously. Desmond Bane and KCP are in different universe type of players. But how much more spaced out will the Denver Nuggets be? Will the Orlando Magic be? Is there more room to work for Paolo? Is there more room to work for Franz Wagner? Can Desmond Bane be an all-star guard and be a contributor on this Orlando Magic team? There's obviously no questions about their defense. There's never going to be any questions about their defense. This is another one of those where you expect it to be within 2 games or so of the line at 50.5 here. But I'm just going to say the under. They're going to have to take some time to get used to playing with Desmond Bane, and he's going to have to take some time to get used to playing with them. There's still some questions about their offense. I'm going to say they're going to win 50 games, maybe 49. But I won't be surprised if they go over by a couple of games as well. If they go over by a lot or under by a lot as in 4 or 5 games, I will be surprised. Atlanta Hawks, 46.5 prediction. Last season, 42. Over. I'm locking it every day of the week. Atlanta Hawks. They have been a team who has consistently been a 500 team. They'll win 50% of the games and they'll lose 50% of the games. And that is what they do. But they have had the best offseason, and this is by far the best team they've ever put around Trae Young. Jalen Johnson, you expect him to come back and be healthy. People are forgetting that. He was injured for a lot of last year. You expect him to come back and be healthy and take a lead. You've brought in Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You've brought in Kristaps Porzingis. You've traded out players who weren't contributing that much. Terrence Mann wasn't doing very much for them. George Niang wasn't doing very much for them. You just expect them to take another step this year. I expect the Atlanta Hawks to be a top 4 team in the East, and if they are the 2nd seed, even if they somehow pull out a 1 seed, which I don't think they will, but if they are a 2nd seed, maybe a 3rd seed, I would not be surprised. If they are a 5th seed or lower, the Atlanta Hawks this season once again disappoint me. I'm never believing them in again. I'm buying stock in them. Trae Young, he's a dark horse for an MVP. They can have a really good team this year. Dyson Daniels, they've got so much support around him. The defensive unit is insane. They've got depth at every position. You just expect the Atlanta Hawks to be a demon of a team in the East this year. Miami Heat, 36.5. Oh, sorry, we've skipped one here. The Chicago Bulls predicted at 31.5. Last season, 39. This is a weird one because the Chicago Bulls always seem to like to compete and always seem to like to just be in the play-in and just be doing enough. But this year, I'm giving up on them. I mean, I've been given up. I didn't expect them to do anything, but I don't believe in them this year. They're going under 31.5 wins. I don't care. They've got Josh Giddey and some young talent. I do like Josh Giddey as a basketball player, but I don't think they're a good enough team to win 32 games in the East. Even though the East is a weak conference, they're a weak team. They traded out Lonzo Ball for Isaac Okoro. As a Cavs fan, I love it. As a Bulls fan, I'd be thinking, what are you doing? That is just makes no sense. They've got Isaac Okoro. They've got Patrick Williams. They've got other people who don't contribute to winning basketball. And it's just, you just got to sit back and think, there's no way they're competent enough to win 32.5 games. Josh Giddey's just not that good enough to carry a team to that many wins. Miami Heat, 36.5. This is almost a lock to go over here, I reckon. They won 37 games last year. And you've got to think they won 37 games with the whole issue with Jimmy Butler, with him not trying hard when he did play, not wanting to play hard. It would have had a massive effect on the locker room. This year, they're going to be fresh. They're going to be coming back. It's Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo's team. They've made a great trade trading out Kevin Love and Carl Anderson there for Norman Powell, which I'm yet to touch on as that's only happened yesterday or today. But they've made that great trade. That's another scoring guard. They've got Kelal Ware. They've got Jaime Jaquez Jr. They've got Hayward Highsmith. They've got a good team. They're not a good team to make a big playoff splash, but I expect them to once again be making the playoffs and to be having a decent season. And I think 36.5 games, which is one less game than they won last year. I know they lost Jimmy Butler, but I think it's a disrespectful line. I think they should be at least getting to 38, 39 wins. Moving on, the Raptors, 36.5. Predicted, and they won 30 last year. This is another one of those teams where you're just not too sure. Scotty Barnes missed some time last year. Emmanuel Quickley missed some time last year. They've lost Bruce Brown, but he was barely playing last year. They've brought in Brandon Ingram, so they do have some overlapping talent there with Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram. But you just got to think, what's the go? What's going to happen here with Toronto? Are they going to be a good enough team who could put up a good fight to win 37 games in the East? And I think I'm going to say yes. I wouldn't be surprised if this one's over or under, to be honest. But I think I'm going to say they will be a good enough team to win 37 games. They've got a lot of talent. Scotty Barnes is a really good basketball player. They've got a good centre in Jakob Poeltl. They've got depth at every position. They do have a really good starting five. Obviously, they sat out some games at the end of the season last year. They were playing scrubs for a while there, and they still managed to pull out 30 wins. Those guys are going to have some experience, and they're going to be able to contribute off the bench as well. I think the Raptors should be able to pull off 37 games at least to win this year. I expect them to be playing in the play-in and making a little name for themselves this year, and then going bigger and better next year. The Nets, they won 26 games last year. That was a surprise. I did think they'd go over, and they did. This year at 20.5, they're going under. They've brought in 5 new young rookies who don't know what it's like in the NBA. They all sort of do similar things, and I just don't like that at all for them. And if you think about it more, they've got Michael Porter Jr., who's a good player, but I don't know if he's going to win them a lot of games. Him and Cam Thomas, different positions, but they play the exact same role. They play, I'm scoring and I'm not passing the ball. And it's just, I don't know how two of those people are going to go on the same team. There's a lot of noise around Nick Claxton. Is he going to get traded somewhere? You're not too sure about this team. You're never too sure about this team. I'm predicting to go under. This, I believe, is my third lock, and I'm going to lock them over, and I think they will clear this well and truly, and I will be seriously surprised if they do not clear this. The Philadelphia 76ers. They won 24 games last year. They're predicted for 45.5. Joel Embiid will be back at some point. Paul George will be on his revenge tour. Tyrese Maxey. Jared McCain will be back. VJ Edgecombe looks like a gun. They've got a really good young team there. Oh, young enough team. They've got some older players with Embiid and George, but they've got some younger players who can play more throughout the season. Although they've lost Gershon Yabusele, they've picked up some good people throughout the off-season here. I like the Trendon Watford pick up for them. I think they should dominate this line. If Joel Embiid is in the team, if he is healthy, if he's even playing at 70% of what he was in the MVP season, expect the Philadelphia 76ers to win 50 games this season. Then moving on. Charlotte Hornets, predicted at 25.5, last season 19. LaMelo Ball missed a lot of last year. Brandon Miller missed a lot of last year. To be honest, I couldn't care about what else is on the team apart from them. Everyone else on the team apart from them aren't the best basketball players in the world. This is a tough one. I had written down over. I'm gonna go under. I can't. Yeah. LaMelo Ball's health is always a question, isn't it? If he's healthy, they'll go over, but he's never really too healthy. And yeah, you just got to go under here. It's a high line for a team which really has two contributing players. I suppose actually they've had a good draft with Concaneppel. Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. I'm gonna go 26 wins. I'm going to go bang on 26 wins. They're going to just clear it. They're going to clear it in the last game of the season. It's going to be a LaMelo Ball game winner. That's my prediction. And the final team in the East, we have the Washington Wizards. Predicted at 20.5. Last season, 18. This is a tricky one. They have some good vet players in their team in CJ McCollum, in Chris Middleton, and Marcus Smart. They'll win them some games. They do have some good young players in Bub Carrington, Corey Kispert, Alex Sarr. It's tricky because last season with the 18 wins, you felt like they were a garbage team and they scrapped together 18 wins. 20 and a half, you expect Sarr to take a step, but he's not really that good. I'm going to say over. I'm going to say with the draft picks they've picked up, they're going to win 21 games. They're going to... It's a tricky one, but they'll be just around it, but they're going to get it. So to recap here, we are locking the Cleveland Cavaliers over. We are locking the Detroit Pistons over. And we are locking the Philadelphia 76ers over. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.